what's going on everyone? My name's Kai, welcome to the channel. Okay, so guys, today I am switching it up big time for the channel. We are going to do a commentary video. There is this TV show that I've been seeing online. It's called Doomsday Preppers, and it is the goofiest show that I've ever seen in my life. The people on these shows are absolute clowns, and we have to have a laugh at them. We have to take a look at it. So guys, I hope you enjoy my new commentary series. Let's get right into the show.
Across the country, ordinary Americans from all walks of life are taking whatever measures necessary to prepare for what they perceive as the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if using the word ordinary is the best way to describe these Americans. However, it might be. It might be. I'm not too sure. I'm Canadian.
This is Doomsday Preppers.
I pray I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
You know what's funny? You're gonna hear this over and over again. You're gonna hear all of these people say, I swear I'll never want to use these. I don't want to use these. I dream I would never want to use these. You know that these people are absolutely bloodthirsty and they are just begging somebody to come and get on their property. Who are you kidding?
I see it, one of two things is going to happen.
All right, lay it on me.
Either the government is going to get their head out of their ass, and they're going to implement some serious austerity measures, and they're going to save this economy, in which case the entitleists will not be getting their checks. Or
okay, what about the entitleists?
And the economy's going to collapse, and the entitleists are not going to get their checks.
What on earth are you talking about?
People stuff don't get the stuff given to them by the government.
Can we cut the interview? Steve is on a tangent.
When they do, this is what they get. Preparing my family for the imminent collapse of the United States economy.
Could that gun be any bigger? Also, I can almost guarantee you that that child who's holding the gun there can't even properly pronounce water yet. Why on earth is he strapped?
Steve H., a contractor in Washington State, fears that economic...
Have you guys ever seen a more American t-shirt in your entire life? U.S. Navy SEALs, 1. Bin Laden, 0.
collapse will encourage widespread riots and looting.
Alright, so on today's episode, we're going to be following Steve, who is a contractor, and you're going to notice while I do these episodes, a lot of these people are contractors.
Steve's bug-out location is a cabin deep in an undisclosed mountain range 50 miles away.
The cabin is on an undisclosed mountain range, which we are going to show you. Also, we're going to show you the road that leads up to this guy's cabin, but it's a secret.
For the past year, the family has traveled there on weekends to add to their stockpiles.
Now, a regular family, they may play their soccer games, they may go to church on the weekend. We used to do all those things. Now we spend our time prepping for what we see is coming.
Now, regular families love to play soccer, they love to go camping, they love to go out hiking. Us? No, we don't do any of that. Actually, we're against it. All we want to do is prep for end times.
Because I believe that any rational individual, when they know what I know, would behave in a similar manner.
This is 30-06, which is good for big game hunting. This is a 22 for, squirrels, rabbits. I mean, it's got a 75 round drum clip on it, so it holds quite a bit. And then AK-47.
How many squirrels are on this guy's property when he needs a drum barrel for them? Good lord! Also, that's not an AK-47.
Small 9mm pistol, and then a Glock 40 cal.
This is it's a water filtration.
See? I told you he couldn't even pronounce water. Who gave this kid a gun?
Getting so much stuff, we have to dedicate a room to storing it. Our bug-out bags we keep here, our water filtration system, the dehydrator, our canning goods, things like that.
I think prepping food is an amazing thing to do. I think that there's nothing at all crazy about prepping food. As long as you're prepping things that you know how to use and you're trained on how to use them, I think it's a good idea.
I have a feeling that medical treatment's going to be a little bit difficult to get. We have a stapler for surgery and surgical kits.
The dude has a stapler for stitches. Dad, I cut myself. Can we please go to the hospital? No! I'll go get my stapler.
Big buddy, we'll bring the stuff out to you.
Everything stored up throughout the week gets shipped out to the cabin during Steve's regular weekend bug-out drills.
Do you think that the family is just cool with this? Like, do you think the family is all on board with this, having to go on these ridiculous adventures through the backwoods just to get to their cabin? Or do you think that the father has absolutely stress tested the entire family to the point of no return? However, the little kid probably looks up to the dad.
This isn't fun and games. This is something that could save our lives.
Next, they check on several supply caches, which Steve's hidden in the woods, in case the civil unrest he fears forces them to hike the 50 miles to the cabin.
Alright guys, can you imagine, you're out with your family, you and your family, you go out on a hike, you're out in the backwoods, and you decide to yourself, you know what, let's sit down and we're gonna have lunch. Let's sit by this nice tree over here, and let's just have a little bit of a picnic. And then these lunatics show up. Get away from that tree! Why? Get away from it before we light you up! Can you imagine running into these people in the middle of the woods?
Some of the things I like to keep in the cache are fishing pole.
Okay, so we are allowed to fish with this guy, but only if the apocalypse happens. Anything prior to that, only prepping. The only activity we're doing is prepping. Can we go fishing? Only when the world ends, then you can go fishing.
A lot of good fishing creeks between our house and our property.
Once the caches have been disguised, the group makes its final approach to the cabin.
I know that I've already said it before, but I have to say it again. Could you imagine just running into these people? Could you imagine you're really worried about going to the United States? You've always wanted to travel there, but you're a little worried about the gun situation, but you decide, you know what? Screw it, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna have fun, I'm not gonna worry about it. What are the odds of me running into a group of armed militants, you know? And then you're walking and then you run into this.
If someone comes out here and attempts to assault my property, we're gonna lock and load and fight's on.
Most weekends, Steve plans an activity for his group.
Wow, Dad, we heard that you planned something really fun for us. Maybe we can go fishing, or maybe we can roast some marshmallows.
But there's no fishing or roasting marshmallows on today's agenda.
Damn it, Dad, can't we just, like, play cornhole or something?
I've placed rocks around that we can get behind to use as shielding if we get into a firefight, and we've created a kill zone. It's a bottleneck at the bottom of our property.
Yes, if you look over here, this is our living room, and back there is our kitchen. And if you just go down that alleyway there, you'll see our kill zone. We like to bottleneck people on our property and just unleash hell on them.
We have made plans to bury explosives down at the bottleneck, the type of explosives that you can shoot with a rifle and have them go off.
Okay, so one thing that you're gonna see in a lot of these episodes are these people burying explosives or burying traps or making all these booby traps for your house. I guarantee you that it is not legal to just booby trap your house and plant explosives all over your property. But let's find out about it. Yeah, it's definitely illegal. You can't just bury explosives on your property.
This one is your 660 grain, 50 BMG, armor-piercing incendiary tracer round with the red paint. Those are the ones we're going to be using today.
My God, look at the way that he looks at that bullet. This is a tracer round. It's beautiful. It's got a red tip on it. Incendiary. Oh.
The explosive Steve's chosen to defend his cabin is a commercially available binary compound. The manufacturer recommends preparing it in half-pound batches.
Of course they're making explosives, of course. But you know what? At least they're using like commercially available stuff. It's not going to be too dangerous, you know. As long as they follow the instructions on there, they should be fine.
But to be sure it can annihilate an attacker's vehicle, Steve thinks he needs something with a little more kick. So he's mixing 80 times the recommended amount.
Of course they're not going to follow the instructions. And I love how it says that the dad is preparing this. No, the dad and his 8-year-old son is preparing this. Way to put your son into such extreme amounts of danger for nothing.
Fearing an impending economic collapse.
Yikes.
This weekend, Steve's 8-year-old son, Stephen James, is also seeing action for the...
Looks like we got a hostile coming up the driveway. Hey, Steven? Nick, I want you to go ahead and
Again with the ridiculous guns.
disable that vehicle. Take the motor out.
Pretty cool explosion.
That's what happens if you try and come up my driveway.
Imagine the poor delivery drivers, or the ambulance, or the fire engine, or any emergency response vehicles coming up this driveway.
My mother says that our prepping is a negative influence on my 8-year-old son.
I think I would agree with your mother. I think that teaching your 8-year-old son that, you know, the world is about to end and they need to make explosives to protect the boundaries, I think that might warp your little son a little bit, you know? I'm gonna agree with your mom on that one.
But I say it's a positive influence on my son.
That was an amazing comeback, buddy. Amazing.
Steve, Practical Preppers, has scored your preps in 5 categories of 20 points each.
Alright, now it's time for a video game style assessment on all of this guy's preps. Let's see what his stats add up to.
13 out of 20 points. Water. You have access to rivers and streams, but no stored water in the event these become contaminated. 18 out of 20 points.
We have a well here, as well as the streams.
God, these people react like little children being criticized when they get their list. Well, no, we actually have a well and streams.
Overall, you get 79 out of 100 points. You have 16 months initial survival time.
I think the assessment is spot on, especially about the security. There's a lot of things that we can do that would be better, and I think I'm going to seek some training.
You know what, though? The guy took it pretty well. You're gonna see going forward that a lot of these guys do not take the criticism well at all. Alright everyone, so that was the first episode of Doomsday Preppers done. We're gonna continue doing a lot of them. I've had a lot of fun making this one. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, let me know. I will continue making more of them. Yeah, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll talk to you later. Bye!
Thank you for watching そばリビング